The big ones are a little more painful, but the smaller ones are just hundreds of them, And so I get to the road and it's like, well, I've kind of always wanted to hitchhike, so here's my chance. And I'm so thirsty that it doesn't matter. So I like stick my thumb out and start walking. And I kind of look at my phone trying to find like it sucked because I could go one way and it goes down to Oxford, and I go the other way and it goes down to Oxford. But it's not like you can just go down to Oxford.
Right.
So I was like, well, I'm just going to go one way, So I start walking, have my thumb out, a lot of people passing or whatever. And I even did like guilt trips where if they were coming toward me, I'd be like looking right at them. When they didn't slow down, like when I saw that they didn't slow down, like drop my head, drop my thumb. So when they drove by, they like, oh, he saw that I wasn't stopping, and like not like, oh no, and then they're gone. It was like a hopeful,
right.
And then when they're close enough to like see me and they weren't stopping, it's like, oh no, what am I gonna do?
You would have ripped my heart apart.
Yeah. Well, so I keep walking, and then I see this like, I didn't walk too far, quarter mile, maybe to a half mile somewhere.
Was the road decently busy?
No.
Oh.
It was like a barren highway.
Oh, great.
No shoulder. So every time somebody drove by, I had to like get in the grass and then throw up. Well, I kind of kept my thumb up or whatever, but
right.
I don't know, like get in the grass and no shoulder. And I'm trying to think. It's like those Hutchinson grandma highways where it's like just a stretch of road that's 65, 70 miles an hour, but who's on it? No, it's like a Kansas road,
right,
Kansas highway, right. Not a freeway or anything. It's like a random Kansas highway. And if you see it on the map, on like a Kansas map, it's like it's connecting two other
bigger
highways. Yeah, right. And so I'm walking on that, and I walk, whatever, quarter mile, half mile, something like that. And I see this house, and it's it's really big house, and it's got big so-and-so landscaping, and like they dig out ponds and stuff. If you want a pond or whatever, they'll dig you out a pond and everything. Successful looking house, business, all big property and everything. Like those big farms that we've seen.
Right.
And so I'm like, I have to go ask them for water. Like I have to go ask if I can use a hydrant. I don't need to go inside or anything.
Right.
I just want to use their hydrant and refill on some water. So I walk over, and you had to like take a left on a little dirt road and kind of walk up that a little ways. And I'm getting there. Beware of dog sign. Like, oh, come on, So I walk up. Two big old, I don't know what they were, big white fluffy dogs. And yeah, they were like barking deep. They weren't coming at me. They were like kind of like, circling or whatever. Not circling, but kind of keeping their distance and barking. And I was like, I kind of had my hands up. I think I had my paddles in one hand, and I had a water bottle in another hand. Just kind of like, I had nothing in my hands, nothing, no knives or guns or whatever. And I have this big camping backpack on, so it's like, yeah, I guess a normal person would be like, "What's in the bag?" Like, clothes, man,
right.
Clothes and a tent or in a hammock,
right.
Some food. I'm not carrying around guns.
Right.
Something
There's not a bomb in here.
Machete or something crazy. Nothing like that. I had a pocket knife on me. No, so those dogs like kind of start freaking me out. Like, oh man! So I turn around, say never mind. I'm gonna keep walking. I don't want to be. At that point, I was like, I don't want to be eaten by dogs. I can't fight these dogs off. I'm too tired. They're big. I don't want to be eaten by dogs. I don't know how aggressive these dogs are.
In Derby news,
they seemed like guard dogs, not attack dogs. Just like they will warn the owners that somebody's here or whatever. And I saw two hydrants. They had two hydrants. So I was just like,
please.
And so no, I kept walking. I went back to the highway. And I was like, all right, there's another house a little ways down, a distant neighbor or whatever. I'm going to go. Stick my thumb out, nothing. Go to this next place. Signs out front. It says, private property, no trespassing. Great. That's what I like to see. Other sign. Something like, if you step onto this premises, you agree to have audio and visual recording anywhere on this property.
Wow.
So it's like, I don't know where the microphones are at. I don't know where the cameras are at. So as I'm coming in, same thing. I have my kayak or my paddles in one hand, water ball in another, I'm just like, hey, hello, excuse me, like coming, like announcing my presence here, so I'm not sneaking up on anybody.
Right.
Hey, excuse me, hello. And it's like a kind of a long driveway, and I get to the house, like, hey, excuse me, still nobody, and I'm just like, I'm at the point of like begging for water, like,
Oh my
please,
God.
please give me water, somebody. And say, hey, I'm holding up my bottle, like, I just need some water. Hey, excuse me, nothing. I go up to the door, I ring the doorbell, I'm kind of like, hands still up, I don't want my hands in my pockets or anything. It's like, kind of waiting, just nothing. Like, all right, I'm going for it. They had a hydrant out front, so I undo the hose.
Oh.
And I was kind of like talking my way. Like, if they're audio recording everything, then
Right.
they will know why their hose is disconnected. Because I wanted to get out of there as fast as I could too. I don't want somebody pulling in. It's like they got this random guy over by their garden stealing water or whatever. But so I go over there, I undo the hose. Like, I just need to fill this water bottle, and like originally I was gonna fill them all, just get them all filled up. But I was trying to get out of there, and so I filled one up, slammed it, just the big gulps, like belly ache gulps, like too big of gulps, filled it up again, slammed that one, and then filled it up again, put the lid on. I didn't worry about the hose, and I just like kind of got out of there. I was like, all right, thank you, just went on. Dude, at this point, I've been walking for a while. I've been paddling for 5-6 hours already. I'm tired. And so I go out, and I have footage. I think this must be on my phone too. But I have, in fact, I know it is. I'm kind of just right outside their gate on the other side of the road. And I walk 20 yards maybe, like up the road. And there's some shade. So I'm like, I'm just gonna set up here, man. I don't want to move. I gotta sit. I could sleep. I'm tired. I'm not as thirsty, but now I'm back to rationing my one water bottle. I don't want to go back to their property and whatever. Nobody was home, I guess, or sleeping or whatever. It's like, so now I'm back to rationing. So now I'm sitting on the road, and people are driving by, and I was like, throw up a thumb. Nothing, but I'm still doing the guilt trip. Like, if they get close enough and they aren't stopping, I'll look down in despair. Like, what am I gonna do?
Right.
And
surprised no one just stopped. Like, I was gonna stop the whole time.
No, there was none of that. But all of a sudden this kind of older truck goes by, and I kept driving. I got my phone on me, and it's at like 40% or something. I've been good with the battery. I keep it off, and I'll just check it every now and again. I'll keep the data off and everything. Save as much battery as I can. And then kind of look back the other way a couple minutes later, and it's that same truck. And I'm thinking, all right, we got something here, And I get up, look as big and burly as you can, You're like, it's a weird game, It's that you don't want to be, and that's what I was telling this guy. You don't want to be too. Like, I know I'm big, and I got a beard and stuff, and a big bag, and people are freaking out about that. But then again, you don't want to be a victim of something, so you don't want to be like petite and submissive or whatever. But you don't want to be like too dominant to where it's like, I'm stealing your car, man. Nothing like that. But he kind of pulls up, and so he pulls up going to where his passenger side is toward me. Yeah. So I kind of like go to the window, and he like leans over, and like I said, older truck, so it's like crank windows or whatever, and he rolls it down, and he's like, "Hey, what's up, man? Hey, how's it going? Where are you heading?" He's like, I can't remember where, not Belle Plaine, Udall, or I don't know, something like that, some Kansas thing, and I was like, "Oh, it's not anywhere close to Oxford, is it?" He's like, "Oh, Oxford's in the other direction, this way." I was like, "Oh, man." So I wasn't even walking in the right direction.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, so I was walking in the wrong direction to start with. And I was like, "Oh, man." And again, just not trying to be a burden on anybody's day. It's like, if you're going that direction, I would love a ride. If you're not going that direction, I'll still hang out here and wait for somebody who is. And at least I know to go this direction now. Right. And he's like, "Man, get in. It's hot out here. I'll just take you to Oxford. It's not too far." I was like, "No, dude, no. It's fine." He's like, "Oh, come on, get in." I was like, all right, well, I'll just jump in the back then. You know, he's like in this little truck. He's like, I'll just jump in the back. He's like, man, it's hot. Get in my truck. You know, whatever. I'll make some room for you. So he gets out.
It's like an older gentleman.
I'll get there. And so he gets out, and well, I guess he's younger. He was like 28, 29, and so he gets out and kind of makes some. His passenger seat was kind of junky or whatever, and he had some like HVAC units in the back, so his trunk or his truck bed was pretty full.
Yeah.
I threw my bag back there, threw my paddles back there. He's like, hey, you got paddles? You know, he didn't see a boat. I was like, man, I got a story to tell you. You know, he's like, all right, well, get in, let's go.